What is going on, guys? My name is Tubby with some WWE news. We're talking a bunch of different topics, so if the one I'm starting with isn't your cup of fancy, feel free to fast forward anywhere in the video to find the topic you are most intrigued about. We're going to talk about Paige and Del Rio possibly leaving WWE. Is Paige actually staying? SmackDown almost beat Raw in the ratings this week, and more. So let's dive in right away. The first thing you're seeing on screen, the SmackDown champion versus the Raw champion in what is now considered football season. It is football season, and Monday Night Raw now has to go up against the NFL, which may, in fact, hurt the WWE. Now, I want to say this. SmackDown and Raw were not the only shows, as SmackDown actually did great this week and almost passed Raw. They finished about 2.69 versus 2.65 for SmackDown. And Monday Night Raw did have to go up against football, though. But how much of a difference did football make? Because football itself was actually down over 10% from last year's debut on Monday night. So here's the thing that I really wanted to bring up. When it comes to ratings, we're often going to compare things to, well, it's because they've got a third hour. Well, that's not necessarily fully true, because if you only watch the 2 hours of it, you'll see the big drops in that third hour, and you would still notice those people within the first 2 hours. The one thing I do want to bring to attention is SmackDown's writing has been absolutely fantastic. I've said this from the start, going back to Eva Maria's debut. This is a new WWE, and the same mindset that WWE has these guys lost in the past does not matter anymore. It's a new TV show. It's a refresh. It's like if your favorite TV show came back on air, yeah, you're going to remember the old characters, and you're probably going to have some resentment for what they do because of it, but it's a new era, as evident by Eva Marie, Becky Lynch losing to Alexa, and now at the pay-per-view, confirmed Alexa Bliss will face Becky Lynch, like I predicted last month. It is what is being presented to you on TV. When we stop looking at it, and I'm going to keep preaching this, when you stop looking, oh, the writers should have did this. Well, just watch, and you can criticize, like, okay, maybe I don't agree with what they wrote, but if you actually pay attention to what they've written on TV and what they've said on TV is where the big thing happened. Like John Cena bringing up the fact that on Stone Cold's podcast, Dean, he hasn't really done anything since then. Now, the thing with the ratings, when you compare the Monday night ratings versus Tuesday night, being SmackDown Live, the big thing to take into consideration is that while it's still football season, other shows were down as well. It wasn't just Monday Night Raw, so you have to take into consideration there's more to that than meets the eye. I will say this, SmackDown was an excellent show. SmackDown was written superbly and was probably my favorite SmackDown of the year. Everything had a purpose. The whole Miz thing, and I've touched on this before, Miz is one of the best in the game, and last night the show was written perfectly, where first he brings up the contract thing, and then he avoids him, and AJ's got to get a partner, and then the fan favorite James Ellsworth is there, and to use the heat for the Miz attacks James, and then at the end you had AJ Styles reeling away as Miz took the pin, so that way Daniel Bryan will be able to say on a future show, why would I give you a contract negotiation? You were in the main event and you couldn't get the job done. And Dean Ambrose turned on Cena. And there was so much that happened writing-wise. If you pay attention to what they say and the words and the things that actually goes in, they've done a great job. So I got to give props to SmackDown. Congratulations on almost passing Raw. If you continue this, I will more than likely tune into SmackDown. I mean, I would already tune into SmackDown every single week, but I would be more excited for SmackDown than I would Raw. You look at the shallow rosters, and that's just one side of it. All right, let's move on to a story. We've all been wondering why Kalisto didn't face Baron Corbin at SummerSlam. Well, it was due to the fact that he was injured. He was pulled from the match, and it now seems like it was because of a back injury. He was set to face him at SummerSlam, and ultimately, in the end now, what is going to happen is Kalisto taking some time off and healing up. So it does look like we don't know how long it's going to be out for, and we're just going to have to kind of wait and be patient as my Skype is lighting up over some of this WWE news relating into the next story, which is Paige. Everybody assumed Paige was leaving WWE. They've made statements on it, but ultimately in the end, Paige posted today that she is not leaving the WWE, and she posted the full statement, which I will read. First, I'd like to thank all my fans for their love and support the last few weeks. Let me begin by saying that the rumors that I'm leaving the WWE are completely false. I certainly look forward to returning back to action at some point once my injury is treated and on a healthy return. Although I was disappointed by my suspension, I respect the WWE wellness policy. However, let me be clear that I was not suspended for failing a drug test. It was merely due to a procedural issue. I took the test. I passed it. I arranged said test to happen after I wasn't at my home when a GS contacted me. So I drove 200 miles to do it. Unfortunately, I didn't do it in time, according to a GS. Once again, thank you for all the love and support, which goes again to, the claim that, Hornswoggle got suspended because of the fact that he wasn't able to pee in a cup and he didn't fail a test, but to the world, it looked like he failed a test, and people assumed. Now, in Del Rio's case, he did, in fact, test positive, but what he was testing positive for, the TRT, which is essentially testosterone replacement, where he's saying, listen, I'm getting up there in age. It's something I need. I have a doctor's note, similar to Adam Rose, but they just kind of do the proactive move and suspend him. Del Rio is moving on from the WWE and is in talks right now with CMLL and AAA. And from what it looks like is AAA is confident they can beat CMLL, and will be interesting to see where Del Rio actually ends up. And I have to be honest with you, I see a lot of hate towards Del Rio and Paige. But here's the thing. Everybody's calling Paige stupid for willing to leave the WWE for Alberto Del Rio, when chances are she's probably been with him since the whole Total Divas thing and everything that was filmed. It's been a while. And when you get treated like crap for a company, in Paige's case, there's a lot of women that have stepped up in Paige's absence. And while Paige can still be booked great, she might have a better opportunity on being on the indies for a while if we're being realistic and we stop just, blind loving WWE, because there's a lot of other people that have stepped up in her absence. And it'll be interesting to see if she does come back and if she will get a run or if she'll finish up with the company. But it's definitely something you want to keep out for. Paige will be coming back, in her own words, once her injury has healed, which to me is fine. Del Rio was promised a lot of things, and you hear similar stories from guys like Ryback, who basically was told that, he would be getting this push and everything that happened going into WrestleMania. If you listen to the conversations with the big guy, it makes sense. Kevin Owens, what a heel, using his own finisher against him. And it looks like Kevin Owens is going to get the victory. And then, wait, 1, 2, is he going to steal it? No, he's not going to steal it. That's one of those things that I got a little excited in this match. Also tonight, we got the CWC Finals, which has got me really excited. If you look at who's in the CWC Finals, it was just announced that there's going to be a tag match as well with the Bollywood Boys taking on Sean Maluda and Arya Daivari. Arya Daivari was in the August WrestleCrate along with Vince Russo as the autographs. There was 2 that month, and a lot of people said, well, Arya Daivari, and then now I've seen a lot of tweets going, oh, Arya, they thought they meant Daivari. Arya might be a guy you're going to see on WWE programming come the Cruiserweight division, so Arya is somebody you might want to keep your eyes on, if I'm being honest. All right, let's talk the booking now, because this is one of my favorite things when it comes to WWE booking. You have Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch. You have John Cena versus Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles, which I actually made a video on John Cena, which please go check that video out. Listen to me, where I threw out, the heel turn possibility, but it's not necessarily a heel turn as much as it is chasing that title, a way to kind of get a more fiery Dean Ambrose, similar to what we got for Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was set to face Eva Marie. She had no business being in the ring with Eva Marie. Everybody thought it was going to be a squash, but Eva Marie didn't come to the ring. Well, what happens the next week? She wants a fight when Eva had the wardrobe malfunction, and who comes out? Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss, because you weren't expecting it, beat her, and now WWE has the match between them, like I predicted a month ago. So it seems like WWE is finally doing long-term booking, and it's not just shotgun. Instead of just having a feud between the two, where it's like, okay, I go out there, I cost this person a match, I am better than you, you kind of have to pay attention to the writing, kind of like a TV show. It is kind of turning into more of a TV show where it's based on the writing, the subtlety, everything that goes into it, besides just the actual wrestling and the stuff that's presented in the ring. And SmackDown is doing an absolutely amazing job with it. And I'll be honest with you, if it continues, I wouldn't be surprised if the SmackDown ratings start beating Raw. I mean, let's be honest here. If you look at the Raw, it was the worst Raw ratings since the holidays. It actually had less viewers, but the actual household score since 1996 for a non-holiday show, which it drew 2.8 million, 2.7, and then 2.5 in the last hour, and is an 11-hour drop from the first hour, which was insane to me. If you think about that, 2012 Raw had 4.1 million, 2013 had 3.8, 2014 had 3.9, and then 2015 and 16 had 3.3 and 2.6. But when you think about that, the big thing to keep in mind is the way people watch has changed. A lot more people watch on TVR, Hulu, YouTube. There are other avenues to watch Monday Night Raw, so I don't know if you want to get too up in arms about that, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into WWE, and even with the viewer ratings drop, they're still top on the cable ratings, and it's still very valuable to USA. Whether or not they'll be able to renegotiate at a better rate or keep up with the rates will be soon to be decided. So I want to know if you guys want to see more of these videos. If you want me to cover stories as they come in one video. I don't want to do one story video unless it's the possibility of Kurt Angle coming to the WWE, which I would drop that because it seems like, when you talk to title match wrestling, it would have to be for the right match and program, and you have to have interest from Triple H and Vince McMahon. I spoke with them a few months ago. They have interest. They just don't know what they want to do and when. So, wow. If Kurt Angle's music hits, that would be absolutely amazing. And, I would kill for that. So, Kurt Angle possibly back in the WWE. Let me know if you want to see him. And if he comes back, who do you want to see him face? And until next time, that's your WWE News covered at 9/14/2016. Until next time, it's your boy Tubby, and we will see you guys later.